Hey everyone, it's Armor Gaming. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to Monster Legends. Welcome to a monster analysis on Sapman. So I already did a monster analysis on Super Dream and it turns out they have the exact same lore, so no need to go over that again. So we're just going to focus on the monsters, stats, the skills, everything about him, and then we're also going to go over Canine because he just got released as well. So let's go ahead and scroll down, and it says that Sapman is a fire attacker with burn and ignite tortures as well as extra turns. He has an evolving trait. At rank 0 he's immune to stun, at rank 1 immune to burn and ignite. At rank 3 he'll give himself a freeze immunity, which honestly is going to be super beneficial against the absolute zero talents from the corrupted era. So Sapman, I'm liking you already. Alright, so let's scroll down. His life stat is 110,989, which is actually tied with that of Super Dream, and actually Canine has a higher life stat, so we'll go over him in a while. The power stat is 10,208, which is the highest currently in the game that we have so far. Super Dream and Canine have 9,680. And the speed stat, he's the slower of the three monsters that we know of so far, 7,304. The other monsters, Super Dream and Canine, are 7,392. So overall, he's an attacker. That's why he has the high power output. Alright, so he's a fire element, immune to stun. It's super useful considering Super Dream can stun. Immune to ignite and burning. This will help in mirror matches when you battle other Sapmans, I imagine. And the freeze immunity, as I said before, I think will really help against the absolute zero talent. This monster can hold a mask and a sword, which is typical of that of attackers. So maybe you give him a Dreams mask, maybe you give him the laser beam sword, cane sword if you need survivability. Alright, going on to skills, we have High Pandas, deals moderate physical damage to one enemy, 40 damage, 0 cooldown, 30 stamina cost. This might be beneficial because 40 damage is a nice punch. It's physical damage, so you don't have to worry about battling in a mirror match against fire monsters. And not to mention, if I'm not mistaken, Canine is probably going to have a CDA skill, so you're going to have a skill you can utilize even when you get hit with CDA. You also have Fire Attacker, which deals low fire damage to all enemies, 20 damage, 0 cooldown, 30 stamina. And moving on to tier 1 skills, we have Manhunt, removes 35% of total life from one enemy. I don't know how you feel about this one. So typically with attacker monsters, you're going to give them 2 strength runes and a speed or a team speed. Having a skill that does a percentage amount of life from the enemy is typically not something you want to do. So what we're going to want to figure out is whether or not it's worth utilizing this skill even if you're running 2 strength runes. Because if the fact is that you can run your High Panda skills that does 40 damage, if 40 damage is going to be more than 35% of total life, then you want to go with High Pandas. But now the one situation where Manhunt might be beneficial, even if it doesn't deal as much damage, is for the point of triggering your talents, right? Or your relics. What if you don't want to trigger a talent or a relic that activates when it deals damage? Manhunt, if I'm not mistaken, no wait, it might still trigger 35% of total life. Okay, scratch that. I might be wrong, so we're gonna have to test it just to make sure. Because I'm thinking about Colonel Pip and those monsters. I think even when they do a percentage of damage, I think it still triggers, or I'm misremembering if they deal damage and then do percentage. So we'll come back to that. Storm Lily and Mogwai deals moderate fire damage to enemies. This is a 40 damage AoE skill, so it's quite powerful. 2 turn cooldown, 42 stamina, especially against a Megaton monster. That is really gonna pack a punch. Right now that we're having these brand new monsters versus corrupted monsters, the higher power stat and everything, man, they're gonna be getting OTK'd. I imagine you're gonna have to run like 2 life rune corrupted monsters, maybe even 3. Alright, what else do we have? ML Butt deals low special damage to one enemy, gives 1 extra turn. This monster even has an extra turn skill. It deals 20 damage, so it's not a lot. 2 turn cooldown, so you're going to be able to use this every other turn, I imagine. Wait, 2 turn cooldown. You use it, use a regular skill, no, you won't be able to use it again. So it's going to depend what talents you can use on this monster, how we're going to be able to best utilize them. But it is nice that he does have an extra turn skill, even if it doesn't deal that much damage, and only if you can cycle 2 attacks. Flaming Pineapples deals moderate fire damage and applies Ignite. So you give up 10 damage, but you ignite all of the enemy team, so that's pretty significant. It does cost 48 stamina. Don't burn my house. Funny enough, he is going to burn his own house. Applies Ignite and Burn to all enemies. Okay, so it is an AoE skill. No damage. I don't think I would recommend this. Yeah, you're probably not going to want to do this. 0 damage, not worth it, again, unless you're specifically trying not to trigger a relic or a talent. But I would say you don't need this. And then we have Lava Cache, which deals moderate fire damage, applies burn to everyone. Yeah, this reminds me of OG monsters, where you have a strong attacker that could run like 2 strong singles or 2 AoE skills, and typically you can just do the AoEs back to back. So if I was to run this monster, I would give this monster Flaming Pineapples, Lava Cache. I would go with High Pandas and Storm. Oh wait, hold on. Moderate fire damage, Ignite. Oh wait, this is a 40 damage. I think I'd go with the dots. It would really depend. Since these new monsters are so tanky, I think I want percentage damage away from them. So I want the Ignite and I want the Burn. So I think I would do Flaming Pineapples, Lava Cache, the extra turn skill ML Butt, and then High Pandas. And again, typical attacker rune setup, 2 strength runes and a speed or a team speed. Fortunately, he has the mask. You can potentially recover stamina thanks to Jastar's mask. And again, we talked about sword, Cane sword, or Jakungan sword. We're going to have issues, removes positive effects from all enemies, deals massive fire damage, burn and ignite. Potentially the kind of ultimate that wins you the game, right? Massive fire damage, you burn and ignite, so even if they survive, they're going to get hit with a ton of dots, which is at like 35% of their HP, and they lost any positive buffs they may have had. So this is Sapman, and again, it's hard to gauge how good he's going to be, because we don't know what the beasts are going to do into the game. Keep in mind, we are going to start the game off by getting the brand new fire beasts, so maybe Sapman is going to have a huge advantage over the other monsters until the other monsters get their own beasts. But with that said, I want to go over Don Canine. Alright, new monster in Legends Pass, Don Canine. Oh, is he going to be the $50 monster then? He might be expensive. Okay, there was a time when there were several gang bosses in Monstown, but that time was long ago. For years, El Canine has been the top dog, with no competitors who dare to stand up to him. Sometimes they sneakily report him to the police, and sure, El Canine has been in jail more than once, but he's never there for long. He always bribes his way out. Moreover, he's made some of his best alliances in jail, where he used his power of persuasion to recruit low-level criminals and turn them into his gangsters. El Canine had thought that things couldn't work better for him, but then one day, Malarian knocked on his door, made him an offer he couldn't refuse, and after sealing the deal, he transformed El Canine into Don Canine, the new gangster boss in Mosstown. Alright, so let's scroll down. He's a light controller with cooldown activation and stun skills. Yeah, so it makes sense why having Sapman with a 0 cooldown skill comes in handy. The fact that it also means to stun, that also comes in handy. So yeah, it's actually, he's pretty valuable right now, because even Super Dream can stun, so you have sort of a counter to them. You have Hardened at rank 1, and then it becomes Tough, and then at rank 3, immune to control at the start of every battle. I gotta say, he probably has the best trait right now. The fact that you can't control this monster, right? You can't stun, freeze, possess, and don't forget about Mega Stun, or Mega Time Stop, or even Baby. So that's good. You have Tough, so 35% of the time you won't get hit with negative effects. His life stat is 112. 112,789. This is the highest life stat of the bunch. The power stat is 9,680. It's head without a Super Dream, which is lower than Sapman, but of course he's not an attacker, he's a denier, so that makes sense. And the speed stat, he's 7392, which is currently the fastest in the game with Super Dream, which again makes sense because they're the denier. So it looks like for Season 1, that's going to be the go-to denier speed. Alright, let's go down. He can hold a staff relic, so he's never going to have to worry about stamina, even if you get stamina drained. He can hold a trap, so you can potentially drain enemy stamina, Nabulion's trap, Wormhole's trap. Alright, let's see. Your new mare deals moderate light damage, applies Sunburn. Spammable Sunburn skill. Father of Gangsters deals moderate light damage, applies Guard Down. Guard Down makes sure your attacks always land. You Owe Me applies Ward Down Hater. I'm assuming that's Guard Down Hater. No, Ward Down. What is Ward Down? Are we going to have a new... Applies Ward Down Hater. Remove. Okay. I'm assuming that's supposed to be Guard Down. Unless we're going to have a brand new effect, Ward Down. I don't know. Guard Down, Ward Down. I'm pretty sure it's Guard Down. Applies Ward Down Hater to an ally. Removes all control effects. Okay, so this is potentially a really good skill, especially if you go before your main attacker and your attacker is denied. Hey, you're going to go before the attacker. You can't get denied yourself, so you can cleanse the denial and maybe set up for a really powerful attack. Applies Ward Down Hater to all allies, removes tortures. Yeah, so his tier 1 skills, even though he's a denier, he has support. You can remove control effects from one of your allies or remove tortures from everyone. I would have loved if that also gave a torture immunity, but it is what it is. My Business deals moderate light damage to one enemy, activates all cooldowns, applies Guard Down to one enemy. So this is the single CDA Guard Down, which then you can set up for a massive attack, I imagine. We have Small Vendetta deals moderate light damage to one enemy, applies Stun, applies Sunburn to one enemy. Okay, so you have your single stun with a Sunburn. Sunburn will also reduce enemy accuracy by 15%, and it's a dot that will take away some of their HP, so I like that one a lot. Yes, we Canine deals low light damage, applies Guard Down to enemies, Sunburn to enemies, so you have an AoE Guard Down plus Sunburn. And then we have Unpaid Loan, activates cooldown on all enemy monsters, 0 damage, 3 turn cooldown. So this is your main skill right here, you're going to activate cooldowns. So for this monster, I like just the single denial, and as well as the AoE. So I would run Unpaid Loans, I would run the single stun, Small Vendetta, I would run My Business, and then for that last and final skill, I think I would honestly go with, I might go with the removes control. But again, he's the kind of monster that you just swap to fit the situation, especially in the war scenario where you know what you're facing. But yeah, I don't think I need the guard down and AoE sunburn. I think most of the time I'm gonna unpaid loan, activate cooldowns on everyone, and on turn 2 you're probably gonna stun the main threat or reactivate the cooldowns on someone. So I think most of the time you're doing AoE, CDA, and then single CDA or stun. So then on turn 3 there's probably not even 3 enemy monsters alive, unless you're relying on a team that relies on dots against the enemy. Maybe you run Yes We Canine, especially if you're using Sapman together and you already did Ignite. Maybe you want to Ignite, Burn, and Sunburn. So at the end of the day, it depends on your team dynamic. But this is a denier, so 3 speed runes. Or, you know, the meta is always different. So you could potentially, right now, when these new monsters get released, assuming you get them ranked up, you're going to be able to maybe run an attacker with 2 strength and he OTKs Megaton, and then Don Canine goes with 2 speed and team speed. Then he denies everyone. Maybe you still want a Chell Long going first, getting rid of positive effects, trade disabling everyone, and then Don Canine goes, so maybe 2 speed, team speed, maybe 2 team speed, single speed. So it's going to be kind of a mix, but any combination of speed and team speed for deniers is the way to go. And for attackers like Sapman, 2 strength and a team speed or speed is typically the way to go. Alright guys, so we just reviewed these 2 monsters. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think about them. Who do you like? Who do you dislike? Any thoughts? Who do you think is the best of the 3 monsters we've seen right now? Do you think it's Don Canine? Do you think it's Sapman? Or do you think it's Super Dream? If you want to check out my analysis, I will link it in the description. Thank you guys very much, and remember to subscribe.